Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Richard Lewis Show. I'm Richard Lewis, and today we are joined by a guest, somebody I've been wanting to bring onto the podcast for a long, long time indeed. You will know him as Marn. It's Martin Phan, a legendary FGC competitor, had a stint in the LCS, team owner, controversial figure. He's done it all. And I got to be honest with you, Martin, I kind of feel like a bit of a noob because I didn't get turned on to you until 2010, I think it was, when DJ Wheat was talking about you one time and talking about all these mad stories like in your past and saying that you were one of the like real OGs, like never changed, even though back, the fighting games community was coming up, esports was coming up, and that you were true to yourself. So just what did I miss? Give me the cliff notes.
What do you mean by what I like?
Yeah, pre-2010, Mom. What the fuck were you doing?
Pre-2010? I mean, 2010 was my 10th year competing in fighting games. I started when I was 12, back in 2000.
Shit.
2000, I went to my first tournament. I got like 13th out of like 80 people or something, and I was like 12 years old. So I went to tournaments with my brother. My brother used to compete too. No one knows that. He was like a top third strike player. It was a very long time ago. Then he was like, you know what? Go ahead. Just keep doing the tournaments. I gotta go get on with life, do my own thing. And, I started traveling by myself. I skipped like AP calculus, like tests and stuff to like get at, like just go to tournaments and stuff like that. And growing up, like since I was like mostly the youngest person at these tournaments and stuff, like everyone would always pick on me and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I guess like in the end, it kind of just now I'm just like fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna do what people did to me, dude. I'm just gonna start like just yelling and just be an asshole and stuff like that. And
you're continuing the cycle of hate, Martin. That's you got to break it, brother. You gotta rise above. But so 12 years old, getting picked on, going to these events and kicking older guys' asses. This was what, like, were you doing this in Texas, which is where you were born and raised?
Yeah, I was born in Houston, and there would be like weekends, like we would like drive to Atlanta for this tournament called Final Round. My brother would drive us to Evo. It would be like 24 hours to get there. Like a lot of times, like we would go with like 6 other Texas players, and we would just like drive to tournaments instead of flying. And that was basically Grassroots FGC. People would just drive to places instead of flying.
Yeah. And what? Yeah, straight on.
Just go. We just rent a car and just go, dude. It was fun.
What did your parents make of it all? Because 12 is fucking young, dude. I mean, I look back at the shit I was doing when I was 12, right? And like, if I had a 12-year-old now, I'd be horrified. I think my parents let me get away with a bit too much for being 12. But most parents I know, they certainly are a bit wary about their kids, even when they're like 16 years old, going to tournaments and going to LAN events and traveling with strangers they've met on the internet, because there's all those like horror stories and whatnot out there. So how did your parents fucking react to it? Like you're 12 and you're like just driving to Atlanta to go play video games.
Well, so basically when I was growing up, my parents weren't like really ever home. Like my mom would be in Vietnam. She's like doing like a lot of like buying land and stuff like that for like later. Like now she has like a ton of land in Vietnam and she's like making mad money. And my dad would be working, right? So like most of the time I'd just be like, hey, like just ask my brother like, yo, let's just go somewhere and then tell them like we're going to a friend's house or something for the weekend, and then just come back like either like way Monday morning and then go straight to school and stuff like that. So they didn't really like know, but when they did know, like it was a very tough road to try to get them to like pay for me to like go places. Like my brother would ask them, but then like when they were home, they'd be like, "What are you guys using this money for?" And we're like, just going out. That's all it was. There was a lot of lying involved.
Yeah. I think a lot of competitors start out like that. You kind of have to lie to your parents to kind of, go out and do what you want to do. But I think this applies in like almost all walks of life. Like sportsmen, stand-up comedians. That's another one. Like people who want to make movies. Like people. Yeah, it's like the parents are like, hey, this is the sensible path that you've got to walk on. This is going to college. This is getting an education. This is getting a good job with a 6-figure income. And generally, if you want to do anything that's a little bit of a curveball from that, parents absolutely, they put their foot down because they got, your best interests at heart. I mean, whenabouts did they get on board with it? When did your parents start realizing, actually, this is okay?
I don't, like, after I finished, like, high school, there's this guy named Justin Wong.
Oh, I know Justin, yeah.
Who straight up was like, hey, Martin, move to New York, right? And I was like, dude, I gotta go to college. Like, my mom wants me to, like, go into electrical engineering, blah, blah, blah. He was like, you know what? Fuck all that, dude. Yo, come live with me. We got this. We can rule the world. And I was just like, all right. And so my mom thought I was going to the University of Texas in Austin, but I was in New York, right? Like, and then one day she like called me and was like, hey, I'm in front of your apartment. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm not there right now. Like, I'll be back later. But I was in New York, right? And then, like, all of a sudden, like, I think she figured it out. And she called me and she was like, you're not my son anymore, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, shit.
And then she got really mad. And then I think that was about 2 years into her thinking I was in college. And she got pretty mad. But I think once EG signed me, I think that was back in 2009 or 10.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think that's when DJ Wheat was talking about you going to EG, and that was what, saying how it was like, it was like a classic EG move, because everybody that EG signed, it wasn't just about skills, right? It was always skills, but personality as well. Yeah. And that was like that synonymous with their brand. And that's what Marcus was talking about way back when.
Yeah. So once EG signed me, and I was like, hey, look, like I got a semi job. It's not like a real job because EG wasn't really paying that much. But I was like, this could work out, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually my mom was just like, all right, do whatever you want. But if it fails, you have to go back to school and stuff like that. Well, like that's like the main thing, right? It's like people are like, okay, if you fail at it, you have to go back to school and stuff like that. So basically, that's when she was just like, all right, do whatever you want as long as you're happy and stuff. It took a lot of convincing from like my aunt, like from California, and my brother, like, but she listens to my brother a lot because my brother was the one who basically raised me, because she was, like I said, never there, right?
Right.
So,
right.
So I always like listen to my brother. Whatever he says, I'm just like, I'll just listen to him. So after that, it was all good.
What's your brother doing now then?
He is in Vietnam.
Oh yeah,
where I was for 3 years. He like when I left to come back here, he moved to Vietnam himself, and I was just like, what? It's random. But he used to like manage a casino floor, do real estate. He's like, he dabbles into random stuff. I don't know what he does. He's just like doing shit.
So what was the first big paycheck from esports, and when did it happen? Was it joining EG? Because say what you want about that organization, they always paid their players well, no doubt about that.
Not the FGC. Well.
All right, okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to, I love.
No, hey, they don't even fucking exist right now. So, like, if you're gonna shit on anyone, make it the motherfuckers that don't exist.
I love Garfield and Scoots, but we had a miscommunication back then, right?
Right.
Like, I had a zero salary contract. I wasn't like I was making no money, right?
For real?
But yes, so I was there a couple of weeks or like a couple of months before Justin was. And I swear on my life, we had a conversation where, hey, if you can get Justin Wong to join EG, we will give you a salary, right? And I was just like, oh, free. He's my best friend. I'm going to make him, right? But during this time, they couldn't talk to Justin because he was doing Ultimate Gamer, like WCG Ultimate Gamer. And then he gets out of Ultimate Gamer, and then like literally the day he like comes back home, like I'm just like, dude, let's go out to a steak and lobster dinner. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dude, let's go. And he's like, what do you want? And I was just like, don't worry about it. We're going to do this, right? So we go to dinner, and at the dinner, I'm like, Justin, I need you to talk to somebody. So I call Garfield, and I'm like, look. And Garfield's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And at this time, Justin was like loyal to EMP and Triforce, right? Like, Justin did not want to leave. And he said he was like tired from WCG. He just wanted to relax, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, dude, we got to fucking go. We just got to do this right now. This is better for your future and stuff like that. Like, I just gave Justin like a rundown of why it's better. In EMP, he's not making money. His money was getting stolen, like stuff like that. I was like, dude, EG's way better. EG's going to like give you what you need, and it's going to help you. Huh?
Stolen? Who was stealing his money, dog?
That's for another day, dude. That's just for another day.
All right, we'll save that one.
And then all that happened, and then eventually he was like, "Fuck it, I'll sign with EG." So he signed with EG, and then we went to ESWC. That was the biggest esports check I think that happened for the FGC. I think it was like 10 grand for the top 3, whatever. Me and Justin got first and second. Came back. Eventually I was just like, yo, Scoots, Garfield, like, we got Justin, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, they're just like, well, I don't really know what you're talking about. I think we kind of didn't. And then that's when I left EG. That's when I was just like, no, I'm tired. I'm fucking mad. Like, I'm not making money from this shit. Justin's making all the money. I got them, Justin. What the fuck? So I left. And that's basically, I mean, the first biggest prize was ESWC, and then after that, I think everything started having a lot of money. Like,
did that make you like super wary? Because I mean, was that like your first sort of dealing with a professional, esports organization, and like they went from sort of promising a lot. But look, this was typical at the time. The broken promises in esports was fucking notorious. So what did this make you think of the whole esports thing? Because I know the FGC and esports, it's kind of like oil and water, but you've always struck me as a guy that has always had a lot more time for esports than perhaps some other FGC OGs,
Oh, after them, I really never signed with a team again until like last year, right? Like, I had my own team. That was dumb. I just made some mistakes, but like, I understand kind of where Scoots and Garfield were coming from. Like, I feel like maybe we should have clarified it a bit more, but there wasn't any other reason why I would have been like so houndy on Justin, right? I would have been like I believe them. If it was just them, I don't think they would have been able to convince Justin. I think it was just because me and Justin were so close. Like, I was like, because Justin was with EMP since he was like 14 or 15 or whatever. He was under Triforce's wing, and I knew all about the situations there, and I knew EG was a better place because EMP, we all were under that banner, right? Like, everybody, like at the beginning, like all the top players, like he knew how to see talent, but he just didn't know how to manage the talent, right? Like Triforce, so after EG, I was just like, no, this shit sucks. I don't think I'll ever get a deal, blah, blah, blah. And even then, I was doing good in Street Fighter 4. I was like doing second and third behind Justin at around that time when I was with EG, and then I just fell off for a bit.
Yeah, so let's talk about the wilderness then. I think the FGC is great in the sense that you can be an independent, right? Like, 'cause if you keep winning the prizes and you can sort of self-fund getting to the events, it's probably one of the esports, one of the competitive gaming outlets that exists where you can be completely independent. You don't need to rock somebody else's fucking t-shirt, somebody else's sponsors. You can do it solely for you, funded by you, and you can make bank, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to like be invited like all this CS:GO, and then you don't have to pay your way in. You just do you, and it all works out. But
Mm.
I mean, back when we were at EMP, like me and Justin would buy our own bus tickets to like go down to Virginia tournaments.
Oh,
Like,
you rocking the Greyhound?
yeah, we were no, there was like this Chinatown bus thing, dude. Like,
Oh shit!
it wasn't even the Greyhound. It was some shady shit, dude. We we would go there just to win like a couple $100 and then come back and then buy some ramen packs, and then the ramen packs would be gone in the morning, and then I'm just like, fuck, what the fuck happened? Like, it was just a bad spot we were in. Yeah, but it's always good that people can just do their own thing. There's not really that many invitationals. There are a couple popping up like E-League and uh E-League and like pack stuff, like packs does stuff. But other than that, there's a lot of I mean, it's like you can go solo, you make a name for yourself, and then it's a snowball effect, right? Like you do good and people will notice you, and then you'll eventually probably be picked up unless you're rich as fuck. But
Well, let's talk about, building your brand, right? You go from being a 12-year-old, for want of a better word, prodigy, you're beating people, you're winning tournaments. When did you start developing the personality to go alongside the skills? Because I think one of the things that's great about the FGC, why I wanted to get the FGC on E-League, on television, in, more cemented in esports, is because I think there's personalities like no fucking other in the FGC. People now understand you've got to have that showmanship. You've got to be able to do interviews. You've got to have mic skills. You've got to be able to do pop-offs. Like people understand the theatrics that go with a great entertaining show. So, and you have been one of those pioneers of that kind of mindset. So when did you start becoming Marn?
well, I always tell this story, but like there was this tournament called like Final Round 7 where like I played against this guy named Too Nasty. I was playing characters like I liked back then. Like I used this like this boy girl yo-yo person named Bridget in Yoti Gear. I lost. I went behind. It was in the gym. I went behind the doors. I straight just cried. I was like 14 or 15 at this time. I just straight cried. I was like, you know what? Fuck all these people. I'm never gonna fucking lose again. I'm just gonna use like the cheapest shit in games. I'm just gonna do my own thing. So then I started playing the best character in the game, and that's when I became like the best player in the US in Guilty Gear, right? And then I realized like everyone was just like everywhere you go in the FGC, everyone's always loud and stuff, right? So the point is to be louder, right? It's not like to make yourself better than everyone else. Like I'm gonna be better at you than at being loud too. Like I just wanted myself to be out there. Like I wouldn't say I'm an attention whore, but I'm kind of like an attention whore. I mean, it just I don't know what it is. Like even in high school, it was just like I was always just trying to be like the person in the group. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It just all happened. And then just I don't know, all the fucking shit I had to go through back in the day until now, dude. It kind of made me into the I don't think I'm like an asshole to my friends, but I'm like an asshole to people I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, this is the thing. People don't realize you get like kind of like there comes a defining moment where it's like if you just constantly keep taking a barrage of shit, there does come a moment where you become like so hard to it. Like you just think to yourself, I'm never going to be in a position where I'm going to take shit again. I'm not going to do that anymore. Fuck that. It's for suckers. And if it means that occasionally you're going to come across as brash or arrogant or egotistical, like fuck it, I'll take it. Because you don't know about the 10 years before now. Me being an asshole to you right now. You don't know about the 10 years of getting punked and ripped off and everything. Like, you don't know why I'm this way. And people like, they never look at people's like entirety. They never look at their stories. I fucking hate the internet culture we got right now where it's like you get judged on one tweet, or like one thing you said in an interview, one opinion, like as if that like makes you a binary good or evil person for the rest of for the rest of time, and everything you did previously is completely colored by that one instance that people judge you for. It's stupid.
I think I think the instance that like changed how I was as a person
Mm.
was when I was like 16. Like I brought some friends over at night, right? And then my parents, like I said, they're never home. My mom, my dad, like at this instance though, my mom, my dad, and my brother went to Vietnam just for a
Right.
vacation. So I was home alone. So I'm a stupid kid, right? I'm just gonna be like, yo, everyone come over and we're gonna hang out, play some cards, and like just whatever. And then people brought over food and stuff, and then everyone left at like 12. And then I woke up the next morning at like 7 a.m. and everything in my house was gone, and I was just like,
Wait, everything?
like literally, like all the computers, the TVs, like everything was just like straight gone, right? And then like I went to my English teacher, this Miss Boardman. I was just like, and I just started bawling. I was like, man, I fucked up, dude. Fuck this shit, blah blah blah. And I called my friend Alex over, and I was just like, dude, I'm just gonna end myself, dude. Because if I don't end myself, my parents are gonna end me when I'm come back, right? So I used a fucking belt on the garage thing.
Oh,
Didn't work.
shit.
Didn't work.
You being serious?
Yeah. It broke. It broke, but the belt broke because obviously I'm fat. But whatever. It broke, and then after that, I was just like, you know what? I just don't trust people anymore. I'm just not gonna like have that many friends, and that's why like usually if you like see me at a tournament and stuff, I'm just hang out with Justin and stuff like that. But I don't really like trust people. But like, it's very hard for me to like open up to people, right? Like I'm just like a very like most of the time if I'm not loud, I'm not saying shit, right? I just like if I'm not like there, I'm just like just a normal ass dude, just like try to just talk to Justin.
Well, you're still here, so your fucking parents. What the fuck did they do? How did they take that shit?
They got mad because they were like, it's definitely one of your friends, right? Because they didn't take the alcohol or anything. They just straight took like the technology, and like they went into her room and took the jewelry, right? Like they just like straight like I think they bought off with like 130 grand of like stuff, I think. And then the guy who I thought did it, his name was like Tooney from our school. Like he was like the most gangster guy, blah blah. And I didn't even invite him. My friends invited him over, right? And then so basically the cops came over there. It was like, so basically someone like pulled down the thing on the garage a little bit, right, to unlock it. But like you don't really see it unless you pull up.
Yeah.
So like when I woke up that morning, the garage was up, and then so I knew what happened. But then like the craziest thing is, the same year, the next year in January, because this happened on Thanksgiving Day, right? I know like it happened on Thanksgiving Day, and then my birthday is January 23rd, and then the night of January 22nd, he got into a motorcycle accident, right? And straight on the 23rd at like 12:03 a.m. or something, he died, right? And I was just like, fuck. I was like, this all fucking just straight happened. Like, this is crazy as shit. Like it happened because I was like, I know this fucking guy did. I hope he fucking dies. I said that for like fucking like a month straight. I was like, I fucking know it was him, dude. And he fucking straight died in a motorcycle accident like the day of my birthday. And I was just like, fuck, dude. And yeah, and then my parents were just like, like it's just fucking money. You could have been shot. You could have been killed or whatever. They could have came in, and if you woke up, you were fucking dead. So it's okay, blah blah blah. So they took it better than I expected.
Yeah.
Like I expected them to fucking just like straight fucking like just kill me, right? But they were just like, it's just money, blah blah blah. It's better if you're here, stuff like that. So after that, it was okay, but like my trust in people kind of just like went to shit, right? Like and then that's the story of how I changed my life, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, esports is like not a fucking industry where you're gonna meet a lot of like genuine people, right? Like everyone, I honestly believe this myself. I don't have a fucking story as dark as that as to what fucking made me cynical, right? But like, just years of working in esports, I was like reading some of my older articles while I was preparing for this interview, trying to find because I actually wrote an article about you, which we'll get to. Yeah, it's just like the scene's just full of fucking liars and bullshit artists, and You know what I mean? Like it's like if ever there was a fucking industry to be cynical in, it's this one. So I don't think necessarily, while that story's awful, it's definitely put you in the right frame of mind to sort of keep your head down and get through this business.
This is everyone's in it for themselves, dude.
Yo. Yeah, sorry, go on, brother.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I just said that.
Mm. So, look, I mean, I've got this little bit I want to talk about here, and you can tap out on this one. This is one of the tougher questions, but I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of, what you went through this period where you did become a bit of a controversial figure, and as I said, this was all news to me. I had to research it. I know lovable, cuddly, fun Marn. That's the Marn I know, right?
Right.
But there's a couple of things on the internet. Like, I got to talk about the Guilty Gear thing. This is like a crazy story. So I'm gonna try and summarize it for those who haven't already heard this, and I'm sure you've talked about this a bunch of times, and I apologize, but I'll just give people the cliff notes. So supposedly there was a Guilty Gear tournament. Which was a pretty big deal, a big sponsored tournament, and you had ended up running it. Was that due to your relationship with Evil Geniuses, correct, or no?
I don't think was that EG at this time. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, they had a sponsor, and you ended up running the whole tournament, and then apparently, what has always been the most commonly held belief is that you kind of decided to, because you were competing in the tournament you were organizing, you decided to alter the brackets in a way that was favorable to you, so it would have a run where you would go, like, if you made it all the way to the final, you would play the other favorite in the final. Like, you guys were at opposite ends of the brackets. And apparently people found out that you'd done this thing, and then they decided to sort of cancel the event right in the middle of the tournament due to this interference. And people always say Guilty Gear never recovered from that moment, and Marn is the guy who single-handedly killed Guilty Gear. That's the meme. Now, I have no idea of discerning how much of that is true, whether you did that shit or not, but I had to ask you and get it from the horse's mouth, right?
So basically, back in that time, like, I was running a lot of tournaments for Guilty Gear. I was doing a lot of like volunteer work. I was running like Evil South brackets, like Evil brackets. I was running a lot of stuff, like just because I thought it was fun, so I was doing it. But Seasons Meetings was this tournament that I apparently like fucked up. Whatever, Seasons Meetings in Ohio.
Yeah.
So this is my story. Okay, like
you drop it.
I was running it. I think it was a 91-man tournament. There was 91 people, and there was this very big match there. It was supposed to be. It was Yipes versus Justin versus Sanford in Marvel 2, right? And I was running the tournament, and Fuji, the tournament organizer, was just like, when this event happens, we're turning off the lights and we're not running the brackets. That's 100% not happening, all right? So everyone's going to watch this match. We're not going to run the brackets. I said, okay, that's cool. So I had a lot of money on it. I had like $500 on it or something. I had $500 on Justin, whatever. I put my money up, blah, blah, blah. And then, so he was like, all right, we're going to shut down the tournament brackets right now. And then like in 10 minutes, we're going to start Justin versus Yipes versus Sanford. And I was like, all right. And then this guy, I'm not going to name him, because I've named him before, and people actually don't know him that much.
All right.
But this guy and this other guy from Nebraska. So one guy was from Chicago, one guy's from Nebraska. They came up to me and they're like, "Marn, you ever smoked weed before?" And I was like, "No, not at all." Right? I was like, "Nope, never done it, never will." And they're like, "Yo, come out to the car with us. Let's hang out for a little bit." And I'm like, "What?" So I go out, and they brings out this fucking bong. Like, I swear to God, it was like this fucking, like, it was fucking huge, right? And then he's like, "Marn, I'm just gonna need you to inhale, and that's it. That's all you need to do." And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Dude, just one time, and I'll never fucking ask you again." So I took one, And they're like, all right, one more time and you're done.
Oh,
and I was just like, I took another one, and then I waddled straight back to the venue, right? It was just like from the car to the venue, I waddled back, and then Justin Jefferson Stanford happened, and then Fuji's like, hey, I'm gonna need you to write, since there was no Smash GG or challenge, it was all paper brackets, right? So Fuji was like, oh, since it's down to like top 16 or like top 32 or whatever, I'm gonna need you to transfer it to a new bracket, right? And I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. So then I transfer it all to a new bracket, and I just throw the other shit away, right? And then Fuji's like, all right, the match is over, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go run brackets again. And I'm like, hey, I'm out of it. I can't fucking run it anymore. I need you to get someone else to run it. They're like, okay. So they got someone else to take the bracket, and they're about to do it. And then, like 2 minutes later, he comes back to me, and he's like, hey, Marn, what the fuck is this? And I look it out at the bracket, and it's just straight scribbles, all right? Like, just straight scribbling. Like, there was no names. There was nothing. It was just straight scribbling, right? And I was just like, fuck, man, I don't fucking know. I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I'm just fucking high as shit right now, right? So then, it's down to like 16 or 32 people or whatever. And then, like, the people who are out of the tournament, they're like, hey, we want our money back. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You guys have already lost. Like, you guys have already fucking lost. What the fuck? If anything, the other fucking people should split your money, and then we'll be all good. So then everyone took their money back. Everyone got their $10 back or whatever, and then we canceled the tournament. And I'm just like, well, I fucked up. That was my fault. I completely did it. And then every single time I see this fucking guy at a tournament, this guy who took me outside that year.
Well, the one who fucked you up, right?
Yeah. I was like, dude, you understand that this whole Guilty Gear thing is because of you, right? And he's like, shh. And I'm just like, you motherfucker. I'm like, it's you, dude. Like, yeah. So in my side of the stories, I just got super fucking high and I fucked up the brackets.
So why do people think that the bracket favored you then? Like, the way it's always spun is that, you wanted to make it to the final and you managed to, rig it in a way that pretty much gave you the easiest route possible to the final. That's what I always read when I'm like reading about this shit on the internet. Don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of other different details about it that are all over the place. Like, no one has a specific story. There's always minor alterations, but that's the bit that always seems to be the recurring theme, that it was somehow malicious, and that's why you were doing it. You just wanted to be the big man. No truth in that.
The tournament was canceled because I fucked up the brackets. It wasn't because I fucking moved myself.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know where that came from. It made no sense. Like, it just came from somewhere random. But I don't, dude. Like, so I made a post on the forums. Like, it was this Dust Loop forums or something. I don't even know if the post is there anymore or if they changed it. But I made a post that same night. Like, I was just like, I fucked up. It was my fucking fault. Like, I got high as shit. I don't know what the fuck happened. And then people were like, you're a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll take that. That's all me. But then I don't know how it evolved to me. Like, I can't change the bracket in my favor if I'm out of it. Like, what am I gonna do? Oh, fuck, man! I'm just gonna change it while I'm already fucked up in the head. I can't fucking play. Like, what do you like? I'm literally sitting at a chair at a table, just like with my head down this whole fucking time. I can't play anymore. I was gonna DQ myself. So why would I even float the brackets? That makes no sense. So I was just like, you know what? As long as people just keep evolving. Just another layer. And in my head, I'm just like, no, I fucked up another way. I didn't fuck up the brackets. I just fucked up completely. That was my own fault. I know what I did wrong, but I didn't rig it. Like, I fucked it up.
You stayed away from bongs ever since then?
Yeah.
Because I look, man. People don't realize, like, most people's fucking first weed experiences aren't fucking good. I remember the first time I bought hash, right? And nobody told me like how much hash gets you high. That, like, they just, you put it in a pipe, you put it in a bong, you smoke it, and you get fucked up. I thought it was gonna be easy. So, like, I was just a teenager, so I went out and bought like an eighth, an eighth of hashish, and I thought, fuck, that's not much. So I just crumbled the whole thing up into a fucking bong, fucking smoked the whole thing in one go. I was absolutely fucking sick as a dog. I was tripping balls. I was white as a motherfucker. I was being sick. I was trying to call people up to come and fucking help me, and I couldn't understand what they were saying on the other end of the phone. I was absolutely fucked beyond repair, dude. So like that put me off weed for a little bit, and then like I talked to some of the guys that I used to, because I'd smoked spliffs and stuff before, and even had a hit off a bong, but I'd never been in control of the weed. And they were like, "What the fuck did you do that for, you fucking idiot?" And they showed me the ropes, But yeah. I'd never take a fucking bong hit off some. If anyone wants me to go out to a car park and do a bong hit with them, and fans ask that shit all the time, I'm like, nah. You're gonna put PCP in a pipe or something like.
I was fucking. I don't even think it was weed at this point anymore, dude. I just know I was just fucking done. I was like, yeah, that was basically. That's my story, anyways. But if people want to say I floated brackets or rigged it out, I'm like, dude, there's no way I was gonna play that tournament anyways. So it makes no sense.
So I mean, it did fuck up the Guilty Gear scene a little bit, though. I mean, that's what people say, right? Like that it didn't really recover from that moment. Do you agree with that?
I don't think so. Like, I think James Chen made an article or something. It was just like,
yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah,
I don't think. I think Guilty Gear was on its way out, anyways. Like, a lot of tournaments started going to the Xbox, like 360 or like the PS3, and they didn't want to lug around a PS2 just for Guilty Gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's. I don't know. They had they had another tournament at Evo like the next year or 2 years later or whatever, and then I still got like second or third, and then no one showed up. It's not like I was running those brackets. It's just like people, if they don't feel like showing up, then that's their own fault. Like, my fuck up shouldn't stop you from playing a fucking game that you like to play. Like, it shouldn't change that mentality. Like, oh, he fucked up one tournament, it wasn't like Evo or anything. It was like seasons beatings. It was 90-man tournaments. Usually Guilty Gear had like 200 people. Like, Guilty Gear had a lot of people, and like seasons beatings had 91, and people were like, nah. And then Evo had like 60 or 70 or something. But people want to just blame me, so I'm just like, all right, go ahead. But if you guys want to think it's my fault, then I don't think so. But if that's what they want to think, that's what they're gonna think, man.
So I remember way back when I was like, still kind of learning about the legend of Marn, right? Like, this is a few years ago, and I heard you were in a game called Divekick, right? And yeah. I remember when Divekick came out. Again, I used to watch Live on 3 with DJ Wheat and Slasher and Scoots, and they talked about Divekick and stuff when it came out, and I thought it was like a pretty cool idea how it just sort of distilled fighting down to literally that sort of one move and timing and stuff. And I heard there was a character in this game that was based on you, right? Called Mr. N. And I was like, oh my God, this man, it must be so cool. But then like I started learning about it, and apparently it's not cool. Like, I mean, we've got a picture of it, which Sam will bring up while we're talking. But like my understanding is that because of the Guilty Gear thing, they wanted to put you in the game and kind of like poke fun at you a little bit. Like, it wasn't something you were in on. It wasn't like you said, oh, I'd love to be in your game. And they went, oh, here you go, you're Mr. N. Instead, they made, it's described here as a morbidly obese, effeminate man wearing a toddler onesie and a giant neck support pillow. And his special ability is to run away in fear. That's how it's described. So this is like a mega fuck you. This isn't cool. So I wanted to get your opinion about this. Like, what's it like, first of all, being in a game and being presented to be an asshole in that game? And were you in on it? Was this a joke you were involved in?
Well, usually I told you, like, I don't care what people think of me.
Yeah, right. It's
just like whatever to me. But like, I was in a dark place at the time, so I had to make money somehow. So I got paid for it. So
you did?
Yeah. So I thought that was okay. I think I sold like my life to them or something. I don't even know. I didn't even read the contract. I just saw the money amount and I said okay. Like, I'm pretty sure they like still own me to this day somehow. I don't fucking know. Like, like, I'm pretty sure, like Keats, the person who made it, is like, yeah, we own you for life, and I'm like, what? Like, are you sure about that? I don't even think I have the contract anymore, but I'm gonna need like a lawyer to get me out of it somehow. Like,
so was the money good? Like, how does that even happen? So like, they came to you and said, we want to put you in the game, but we want to make you look like a dick. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, I knew they were gonna. I knew they were doing that in the first place because I think in the beta builds, like he was already made. Like, I think at that point they were just like, all right, we don't want Marn to like sue or anything, so let's just fucking give him some fucking money. Like, to me, it was good. The money wasn't good at all. I'm just saying. Like, in this day and age, I wouldn't have done that at all. Like, like at all. Let me tell you, I definitely wouldn't have signed that fucking contract. All right, but I told you, it was a dark time in my life. All right, I needed the fucking money. You know,
like I didn't know that. I didn't know you got paid for it because it's called Mr. N. I thought they were like sailing close to the wind, and kind of like hoping you wouldn't sue, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know you got paid. Oh shit!
Yeah. So I mean, it was just I'm telling you, it was I think.
So you're saying it's a dark place. What the fuck was going on to make you sign up on this shit?
I had no job, I had no sponsor. I was just like going to tournaments and like hoping for the best. Like, dude, actually, I think during this time, Justin was the one who was buying all my food and stuff like that. Like,
wow.
Like I'm pretty sure this was that around that time where I was just like completely broke and Justin was like taking care of me. So, yeah, that's when I was just like, oh shit, money, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, man, I didn't know that. So I mean, like, were you like, do you have a good relationship with the guys from Divekick? 'Cause I mean, I suppose they did the right thing by cutting you a check, right? But I mean, that you're still sort of a douchebag in the game, right? So, like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, the guy who made the game, like, we had a big fight back in the TVC days, like the Toxic versus Capcom days, like. He would like want these characters like in the game. I thought the characters should be banned because they were like giants, like they were like fucking huge, and you only get to have like one giant, whatever. Doesn't matter. And then I think he ran a tournament or something, and I called him out on like it being dumb and blah blah blah. And we've had like a love-hate relationship. Like, usually he'll say hi to me at tournaments and stuff, and like we'll chat for like a minute or two, and then that'll be it. But like, it's not like I don't know. I understand what he does. Like he works for Killer Instinct now or whatever. Keats. But I don't know. I mean, usually I don't care what if I cared what people said to me, like, or did stuff about me, like I'm pretty sure I would have like killed myself by now, like, because I like just like I'm just like whatever. I don't give a fuck. I think it's. As long as I think it's kind of funny, I don't care. Like, if people make, like, the funniest the funniest fat joke, and I'm just like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. Good shit. Like, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what people really think. I just let it go. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, you've also been the victim of hit pieces. So, like, this is a thing that's happening in esports now. Because esports is getting big and it's getting more mainstream. Right. You've got journalists from outside of the scene that don't understand certain, how should we say, cultural kind of norms. But not only that, the only thing they're interested in is like tearing down what guys like yourself and guys like me and guys like Scoots and Alex Garfield, all these like progenitors of esports. They're only interested in tearing it down to make space for themselves. They don't understand that you don't need to tear anything down. And so, and certainly if you want to come in, we'll make you welcome, but you can't come in and say everyone's an asshole, everyone's a racist, everyone's a piece of shit, because I'm telling you firsthand that ain't true, right? So you've actually had there's one that stands out to me back in 2012, and look, there was a little element of truth to the original piece. This was over at Kotaku, and it was an incident that happened at Cross Assault, which was a web series by Capcom. And I think one of the people who were involved there, not yourself, had made like a few remarks about a female competitor, and they did a close-up on her ass which obviously you can understand why that isn't, cool, right? But then I think you guys made a joke about it on a show, and then they wrote a fucking hit piece about you for referencing it. I think the only thing you said was like, yo, Giant Bomb can write an article about it. And then like you got named in this fucking hit piece I'm looking at right now on Kotaku, where it's like saying, oh, you shouldn't make jokes about the fucking things that you had nothing to do with in the first place. So obviously this comes off the back of this dark time, the Divekick bullshit. So I wanted to like get your take on what happened in that snapshot in time. Like, what's it like getting a hit piece wrote about you? What was all that shit about? And sort of how did you cope with it all?
I don't even remember that. I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember it?
No.
I'm looking at an apology.
Did I apologize?
Yeah, I'll read you your apology, motherfucker. I just wanted to say my views and personal opinions do not reflect Level Up, Evo, SRK, or the fighting game community in any company in any way. A lot of people know me as the nice but joking guy who doesn't have any bad intentions. I love this community with all my heart, and I've poured a lot of what I could into this community. I understand now that it is a very heavy topic, that's the matter of sexual harassment, that should not be lightly talked about, and I misjudged a lot of things yesterday and said things it definitely should not have. I have no excuses, and I hope everyone looks past this and onto a bright future. Marn, Phan. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the article in the group chat. You can have a little look-see. But yeah, that doesn't jog your fucking memory at all?
What the fuck? Wait, where'd the video go?
Oh, you can't find none of this shit online no more.
What the fuck?
Hey, it's fucking crazy. Like, legit, trying to research the FGC is so hard because there's no, Here it is.
Oh.
Is it clicking?
Okay. Okay. That's when I was banned from Level Up commentary. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Damn.
So give me the whole fucking thing there, brother.
I don't know what to give you other than apparently I made some stupid joke and sometimes. So me as a person, right? Sometimes like if I feel like something's like really like serious, I try to make a joke about it to like lighten the mood, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't really like make it thinking like, oh, fuck this girl or like whatever like that. Like I don't really like make jokes to like be like malicious. I make jokes to like just I don't like arguments, right? Like I don't like what I don't like going to arguments like with my girlfriends or anybody. I just don't like that shit. I just don't like having like a very what's that word? What's that fucking word? When you just argue with people, fuck. Like debate, like I just don't like that shit. I just don't think it helps anybody just fucking like making like articles or like shit like this for views and shit, right? I just think it's stupid as fuck. So I just make stupid ass jokes, and some streamer person was like, yeah, fuck this guy. Like, if I say something bad, like nowadays when I make a tweet or something, I'm just like, all right, I backspace a lot. I'm like, okay, someone can definitely say something about this, so I'm just gonna backspace it. Like, it just like stuff like that just makes me more weary of like shit. I just don't like shit I guess I shouldn't say, but I say it anyways when I'm not thinking. Like I'm just like, fuck it, I think this will be funny, so I'm just gonna fucking say it, right? I don't really like hold myself back unless it's like a tweet when I can like actually like read it and be like, did I fuck up here?
Yeah, but it seems crazy to me you lost a fucking like a gig over this, because let's be clear, right? Like I don't support fucking a dude zooming in on a fucking girl's ass and talking about it and making somebody feel uncomfortable. Like I think that's fucking disgusting. And obviously as well there was a clip on the same show where a guy was like competing and screaming fucking rape that bitch, right? Which is also fucking I can say in the setting that it happened, it's not fucking cool. But what you said on a broadcast was just to sort of make a joke about, somebody should write, a Giant Bomb should write an article about that. You were mocking the coverage of the incident, not the incident itself.
Yeah, I don't like. I didn't think. I wasn't like, yo, maybe I'm gonna do that to a girl too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, dude, I just don't like how, like, when it happened, it blew up everywhere, and I was just like, oh shit, like this is looking bad, and I said some shit. Yeah, but shit like this, I can't believe you brought it up because I really don't even remember what exactly I said. I don't even remember half that apology, to be honest. I think like Level Up wrote that themselves.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a thing. Like, I've talked about it a lot on my, podcast about, Kotaku and the things they've come in and the things they've covered, right? And it's like, listen, there's been some genuine instances of, sexual harassment in esports that I think definitely deserve attention and deserve coverage. And the people who engage in that stuff definitely should be held accountable. It's reprehensible. It's indefensible, right? But like, to have a hit piece wrote about you because you joked about somebody writing an article about it seems insane. And it seems even more insane to think that you lost the gig that you were very well suited to and were part of the furniture at Level Up. You lost that gig for making the fucking throwaway joke that you did. And again, that was predicated on the Kotaku coverage. It's like I look at the media, I think sometimes they really do go after the wrong fucking people, and they try and take stuff away from people that really have nothing to do with what they're angry about. And I think that definitely happened to you in this instance. I don't know if you agree. I mean, you seem quite reflective on it. You're saying, well, I did say some stupid shit. My theory is that based on what you said, you didn't deserve to lose your job over it. You probably deserve to be told, this is actually a big deal. Can we not fucking joke about that?
Yeah, but this stuff wasn't like a paid gig. It was like, hey, Marn, you're here. Get on the mic and say some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, commentate this match and stuff like that. It wasn't like a paid thing. Like, I just did it for fun. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I know I say stupid shit, but I just don't remember saying stupid shit, I guess. Like, I'm just like, what did I exactly say here? Like, I don't remember, but I guess it was pretty bad. But I know the guy who they said Christian or whatever.
Yeah.
ETR. I definitely know after this incident, he hated me, and I was like, I think we're in the same boat, dude. Like, you can't just hate me just because you got in trouble too. Like, you definitely said the same shit to me.
Yeah, yeah. He was laughing and joking and going along with it. It's right there.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know.
I mean, that's some crazy shit. I mean, look, to put it in perspective, right? Everybody knows about the incident that happened with me and Loda. That's gone into like esports legend now. And by that, I mean, none of what people think they know is true. But there was afterwards, right? A bunch of fans came up to me when we finished that event and said, can I take a picture of you with you choking me, right? And I thought, well, fuck it. This will be funny. We'll do it for the lulz. And we took the picture and they were like, thanks, man. You're a legend, signed all their autographs and stuff. And then they tweeted the picture at me and Anders retweeted it, right? And Anders got a fucking phone call straight away from DreamHack saying, yo, you can't joke about this. Remove your fucking tweet, or maybe we ain't gonna pick you up in future and all this. And like they just even joking about the incident that you had nothing to do with was considered, taboo, forbidden. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think Anders or that fan really did anything wrong, but maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I've still got a lot to learn about, how the world works, right? But I know. I when I was researching all this, I was like, how the fuck did Marn get blamed for that? Like, it just seemed so weird to me that I was like, what the fuck? Like, I
don't know, man.
Just lucky, right? Just lucky. So anyway, right? So that brings us sort of up to 2012. Now, I don't know. It's all, again, in the mythology of Marn, it's always said that because of that Level Up incident, because of the Divekick bullshit, because of the Guilty Gear memes, that you had then made the decision to sort of take a backward step from the fighting games scene, and you actually went into League of Legends. for a while and had Team Marn. So before we start talking about the League of Legends period of your history of your life, which I'm fucking so stoked to get into, please do not cock tease me. Please do not put the tip in. I want the full fucking shaft out. I want you balls deep on this motherfucker. So, was that true? Did you leave the FGC because all of these controversies have been piling up?
No, I left the FGC because I heard there was going to be a lot of money in this. That's exactly what happened. I was like, oh shit, I heard there's going to be like 200 grand up in here. I was like, okay, I want to try this out. And that's basically what happened. I didn't leave. It was just FGC wasn't making me that much money. And I was just like, dude, let's see if this works out.
All right. So how did you get the money together to make Team Marn for League of Legends?
I had no money involvement. There was no money. No one on my team was salaried or anything. I straight went to the leaderboards and I went down the list and I was like, all right, who doesn't have a fucking team? I was like, okay, Mega Zero. And then me and Claky D, we went to the same LAN center called Dream Lab, right, in Arcadia, California. And then we went to the same LAN center. I'm like, yo, Claky, I know you're not diamond. I know you're only plat, whatever. I'm like, yo, let's make a team together. And he's just like, okay, right? And then, because I was just like, dude, we're not going to fucking win this shit. We're just going to have fun, right? That's all we're going to fucking do. Let's just have fun and fucking play, okay? And then he was like, all right, let's just do it. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, blah, blah, blah. And then we got Atomic and Heartbeat. They were like duoing in one of our games or something together, and they like played okay. And I was just like, hey, you guys want to join my team? And they're like, okay. So it was that's the 5, right? Mega Zero was the highest on the leaderboards, and then just 2 randoms from a game, and Claky D and me, right?
Yeah, man. I remember this shit like it was fucking yesterday. It's frightening. I can't believe it's been like 6 fucking years or something.
And then we didn't even have a fucking team name. Like, we were all in Skype like, hey guys, what do we do if we fucking win? Blah blah blah. Like, what's our team name? I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, you guys think of something and you guys come back to me, right? And then a day later, they're like, we don't fucking know. What about just Team Marn, right? They gave the name, right?
Yeah.
Because before then, I sponsored a player named Wolfcrow, right? I sponsored, and I was like, oh, you're part of Team Marn, right? I didn't pay for anything. I just paid for his flight to places, right? I was just like, all right. So they're like, let's just be Team Marn too. And I'm just like, okay, that's fucking hilarious. Let's fucking do it. Marn without the A, right? MRN. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. And then that's when it all started, dude. That's when it all started.
So you said you had no money and the guys weren't salaried. If I remember, you were sponsored by Mad Cats, right? Who were well known in the FGC, and I did some work with Mad Cats way back in the day. But like, what were they like a gear sponsor, or what was that? Because the money, you still need money to get to the tournaments, right?
No, what?
Well,
it was just to qualify for the LCS. That was all we were trying to do, right? So Mad Cats, they gave us the gear, right? But there was no money involved. What I wanted, I didn't even want the gear. I wanted the fucking scratches on the side of my fucking shirt, right? My shirts were fucking cool, okay? They fucking glittered. They were all nice and shiny and shit. My jerseys were sick. That's all I wanted to do, right? Because if it was just Marn by itself, it was kind of boring. But the Mad Cat's little scratch thing, I thought would have been really nice, right? I was like, you know what? That's what I want, right? So then, so we didn't have fucking money for anything. Mega Zero was on the East Coast, so he was playing, like, for the qualifiers, he was playing on like 140 ping or something, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the first time he came, because when we won the open qualifier to qualify, when he first came to over to California, and he was like, dude, the character moves when I want it to move, and I was like, oh shit. All right, that means you're gonna be way better than you really are. Like, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good, right? Like, it was fun times back then. It was a lot of bullshit.
Well, so here's a question for you. Obviously, with these controversies, and you being a known figure, I know one of the things Riot Games did religiously whenever anybody tried to get into their league, LCS, when that was a thing, they vetted everybody. They had intelligence on everybody. They knew everybody's shit. And they even said to a few people, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't, no, we'd rather you didn't, straight up, dog. And I know this from some players and shit like that had, oh, it's probably not worth your while because you won't get through a player behavior check. You know what I'm saying? So, like, did anyone from Riot ever come to you and be like, yo, listen, maybe not you?
Dude, they were embracing of me, dude. They wanted me. Dude, I don't know anybody who was like, yo, fuck you, Marn. Like, they straight up was just like, oh, shit. Like their fucking thing about us when we won the open qualifier, they were like, oh, this is the Cinderella story or whatever when we won and shit like that. They wanted they didn't want. I'm not saying they wanted me in, but they definitely had no problems with me.
Yeah. So I mean, did you how much interactions did you have with like Riot Games sort of while you were on this road? Because they were they've gone through phases. The company, the Riot Games I always liked was sort of in the early days, like pre LCS, where they were like giving everybody like fucking free shit. They went to all the esports event. You'd see like hundreds of like red t-shirts, and they'd be like going around and getting to know people and like hanging out. And then I don't know, something changed once LCS became a reality, and they became like a much stranger company. They started focusing on player behavior. People, they started doing some very strange things. So did you have a lot of interactions with them back then?
I mean, I talked to Bridget a lot. I don't know if you know Bridget Davidson or something. I don't know. I forgot her last name. I talked to Bridget and Chopper a lot, but other than that, I didn't really like. No, I just they were always there just for like answers and questions and stuff like that. If I needed anything, they would always like help out. That's all. So
one thing I know they must have got involved in was like one of the things we all used to think was brilliant was when you guys ever got kills or did ganks or messed somebody up, your team would all scream, "Get fucked!"
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's so stupid. Yeah, you guys would all literally be like, I was watching it, and you guys are, "Get fucked, get fucked," and everyone thought it was hilarious because League of Legends was seen primarily as a kid's game at the time. In fact, there was one team. Picture of a goose, I think it was, and they had qualified for a LAN event but couldn't go because their parents wouldn't let them because they weren't old enough to play. So there was this attitude towards League of Legends back then, and you guys were fucking fresh off ladder, weren't really a team, no big sponsors. You screaming "Get fucked" at people.
Oh, they definitely told me to stop.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening anymore. Like they said you can scream however you want, but no profanity, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it became get wrecked, didn't it?
Yeah, it was because that was all my fault, right? I was like, I want you guys while you guys are playing to hype yourself up when you kill somebody, right? Because we're not a team, we never practice together, stuff like that. We just like straight roots, like solo queue people, just like fucking ready to just play. That's it. That's all it is, right? Like our whole strategy sucked too, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk about the team because I mean, it's crazy that you guys, in 2012, you had the, like you say, you had the original team which had some people in whose names I don't even know. Like Nick Wu was in that roster, and you even played in that original team, right? And then, like you say, you went on the ladder and you brought in your Mega Zeros, your Claky D's, Heartbeat,
Atomic.
Yeah, Atomic, that was it. So from that point, you actually, like you say, it was a Cinderella story. You qualified, but then you had the split come up, and things were very different. Like the Cinderella story was starting to get a little bit found out, right?
What do you mean by split?
Well, that's what they call a season. You got into the spring split, right?
So basically. So there was like an open qualifier, then there was a qualifier to get into the LCS, right?
Yeah.
So after I won the open qualifier with my team, I straight told them, I was like, I'm not good enough, right? I stepped down. I was like, I'm not good enough for the team. We should find a better mid laner so we can try to qualify. I know I'm not good enough. This has been fun. but let me just fucking like own the team and just you guys go for it, right? This is all a Skype conversation. I was just like, dude, I fucking suck. That's all it is, right? I'm not helpful for the team. So we got Echo for mid, and he was like, oh, I just play Anivia, right? That's all he fucking played. So then the qualifiers happened, right? And then they put all the managers into a Skype chat, right? And then High was in there, right? This is where I'm waiting for High, okay? High hasn't talked to me since then, but I'm waiting for him because he owes me $500,000. So I'm just letting you know, right? I'm just letting the world know right now. High owes me $500,000, okay? Because in that manager chat, everyone who was in it saw it, right? High was like, "You'll never beat my team. My team is an S tier team. You guys are like F tier, like D tier. You guys aren't even like close to me, right?" And then we played in the qualifiers, and my team beat him, right? And I was just like, and he was like, "I'll bet you any amount, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Dude, I don't have any money." He's like, "I'll put $500,000 up." I'm like, "All right, whatever." And then I fucking won out. I'm like, "Where's my 500K?" He looked at me, he walked away, right? I was just like, "This motherfucker, dude." So we beat him like in a base race, like a crazy ass base race that like Riot put up on their YouTube or whatever. So we beat him in a base race, and then we won and we qualified, and then everyone was mad happy and shit. And it was because like I think we lost, like we went 1-2 the first day or something, and then we were like we were all in the hotel room that Riot provided, and I was just like, "Look, guys, we're not a fucking team, all right? We don't know how to fucking play this, so I want you guys to straight up play Taric, Urgot, bottom, and then just Nocturne, like, and just fucking. I want you guys to just press R and kill one person, and it'll become a 4v5, and we'll fucking win the fight, right? We just have to kill one fucking person, right? That was our whole goal going into the fucking thing, like the second day. I was just like, pick these two characters, and that's it. And then we'll just fucking we'll go at that, because we were not doing it with other characters. We didn't know what to do, right? Because we didn't have fucking team chemistry or synergy or whatever. So then we went in there with my strat. We fucking fucked everybody up. It actually worked for some reason. And then everyone was like, "Oh shit, this bottom lane, blah blah blah, like it's so good together, blah blah blah." I don't know what happened. We won, and then we made it into the LCS. And then what was your question?
Well, I was saying that's when the fucking wheels started to come off, right? Because like, you make it into the LCS, but then it was like everybody. Like, nobody was taking you lightly anymore. All the games suddenly seemed a little bit more difficult. And as we'll get into, there was stuff going on off the server as well, by the sounds of stuff. So,
yeah, there was a lot of shit happening with my team. There's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna say it's my fault because, like, honestly, like I was thrown into this position. Like, seriously, like, I don't know how to fucking manage shit. I don't know how to fucking like own a fucking team. Like, it fucking happened. It was supposed to be for fun. Like, me and Clay KD were literally at LAN Center, just like, "Yo, let's just go ruin people's dreams," right? And we fucking made a dream, right? I was just like, dude, what the fuck happened? Like, a lot of shit happened. I think a lot of shit happened to the point where like it got to the point where I fucked over the team, I guess.
Well, yeah. So look, let's talk about that, because it was one of the first real sort of public displays of sort of, this is what can happen in a team. A lot of players that were on Team Marn came out and said there was like financial issues.
Half.
I'm
just saying half were on my side, half was not on my side. I'm just letting
okay. All right. So I mean, there was this, right? I got the big famous post by Mega Zero that he put up on Reddit, and this was talking about how team owners have a lot of power in the way it's structured within LCS. And he was, I think, in this he sort of goes on. It's quite a long post, but I think he talks about how there's a line where he says, "In my case, our manager decided to pay himself over 3 times as much as our highest paid player." Which, I mean, he was saying there was no money in it. So, like, this is one thing I never understood. I always thought with Marn There was just no fucking money. That's why nothing got done. That's why, you know, the shit with the team house went down. That's why salaries were deferred. I didn't, you know, but the way he makes it sound is that there was money, but you got most of it.
So should I start from the beginning? This is going to be long, man.
Good. That's what I wanted, brother.
Okay. So basically, when we first got into the team, so Riot provides a salary. They provide a housing stipend, right? Like they give you like a certain amount for a house or like apartments or whatever you feel is like whatever to, you know, get your whole team together. Either they give you money and you have it, you fly yourselves from wherever you are to LA every weekend, or they give you money so you can get a house in LA or an apartment or whatever.
Right.
So since we're all new to this, it was the team's idea to get a beach house. All right.
Yeah, I remember this house. Fuck me, dude.
Now this house was way over the amount of what Riot was giving us, right? So I was like, all right, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna use some of y'all's salaries and we're gonna split it up evenly to make up for the extra that Riot doesn't give us, right? But then whoever gets the master bedroom, Claky D, he pays a lot more, right? Because that room was fucking nice. It had a balcony, fucking like a walk-in closet. It had everything.
Okay.
So everyone agreed to that. Everyone was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then everyone signed the lease, right? Except for me. And people are like, oh, why did Marn sign the lease? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I had bad credit, okay? Mm-hmm. I just don't have any credit at all. It's not going to work out for me, right? So everyone else signed it, right? And before we signed with Riot and everything, I was like, look, guys, look. The salaries, we're all going to split it, right? Mm-hmm. And real shit, I said, I want to take some of it too. We're all going to split it evenly. To me too, right? And Mega Zero was like, why you? And I'm like, I fucking made the team. Eat a dick. I straight up said that. I was like, I made the team. We made it. You know, it was random. Whatever. We're going to split it all, right? And it wasn't even that much, like a month for everybody. It was just like whatever. It was a good amount, but it wasn't crazy, right? So, also, Riot's like, oh, when you make it into the LCS or whatever, we'll help you out. You know, like we'll find you sponsors and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, throughout the whole split, I was trying to find sponsors. It was not working. Like there was one sponsor who approached me, Mobifier. Mobifier was like, hey man, like, you know, we can pay you a certain amount a month, whatever, you know, if you guys start writing guides and stuff, you know, if your players write guides and stuff for you. And I'm like, hey guys, look, we have an opportunity to make more money, right? We just have to write guides for fucking your champions or whatever, right? No one fucking did it, right? No one worked on it. No one cared about it. And I was just like, all right, well, that's fucking done. We're not going to fucking get money from there. Like, no one wants to do it. Everyone's like either watching shows when they're not playing or they're just like fucking around, right? And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I guess this is it. All right. So then I think the season was from like February to like April or May or something like that. I think, well, it ended either in May or June, right? But the thing that Riot doesn't tell you is they don't give you the fucking housing or the fucking salary for that month of relegations, right? If you get relegated, we're gonna fucking hurt, right? We're gonna have no money for the fucking house, right? So we get relegated, and the real estate agent is like, hey, so we need this money, right? And I'm just like, oh fuck, right? So I'm like, all right, guys. So it's like $500-$600 more each person this month because straight up, we're not getting back into the LCS. I can get us out of this contract because someone else is willing to rent the house, right? So if they take over the lease, then we're fine, right? But we need to pay for this month, right? So I took out that money from them. It was like I think 14 to 17. I don't fucking know. It was a lot of fucking money that month, right? And since Riot pays me, and then I pay the players, Riot paid me, and then I said, okay, this is what you guys are getting this month. Sorry, we're fucking done, right? Everyone's gonna go home. we're not here anymore. So everyone left, but they didn't help me clean up the house or like replace the broken tables or like anything that they fucking did with the house. I had to do it myself, right? Flaky D came and his brother Nick Wu came, and we would like do some shit to like fix up the house and stuff like that. And then I paid for the month. And then we got out. And then I got.
So I've got the numbers in front of me here, because this is what blew my fucking mind at the time. That apparently Riot had cut you a check for $80,000, which was for 5 months' living expenses. Is this accurate?
Is that salary or the housing?
I think that's the housing stipend.
No.
Is that not accurate?
No.
How much was the housing stipend for 5 months?
Am I allowed to say? I don't know.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
It's like $5,000 a month.
So $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Which still isn't bad, right? I mean, it just seems crazy to me that you guys had sort of... I still to this day don't understand why you would all in on a fucking beach house. It's just so insane. Like
because we thought we fucking made it, man.
Yeah, but dude,
made it.
Yeah, it's great if someone else is paying for it, But if it's so crazy like that, because I remember at the time, like you said, I've dug up my old article, which was called "Serial Mismanagement," because I'm clever like that. It says here that you guys, like literally couldn't make rent, that you needed help. Like actual financial help on top of the $5,000 a month and the salaries that were coming in and anything else that came in. And that's like
Nothing else came in though.
Yeah, right.
Riot actually didn't help us get sponsors. We couldn't get sponsors. We were like the smallest team. Like nobody's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just very hard. Yeah.
So anyway, sorry. Go back to where you were. You were talking about how you were like tidying up the house. Nick Wu was there helping you out.
Yeah. So after I paid like the real estate agent and stuff like that, like I'll send you like I guess no one else should see this, but I'll send it to you. So this is what I'm like. So I fixed up the house and I messaged everyone. I was like, look, so we're all good on the money, right? Like that's why like on my blog post or whatever, I straight up was like, look, these are the texts that people sent me. Like I said, we're good on the money. We're fine with the money. Like I don't owe anybody anything. And everyone's like, yep, we're good. And then all of a sudden, I'm at a fucking tournament, like curly mustache, and then my phone starts blowing up. Everyone's like, yo, fuck you for stealing money from your players and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I'm like, okay, like, first of all, if I stole money, I would not be in Justin's house right now asking him money for food. I would definitely have money somewhere. Like, I don't have fucking money. I don't know what you're talking about. I spent the money that I saved because I took it out of whatever. So we split it 6 ways. I saved that to pay the month of rent. And then so Riot was all like, hey man, everyone's saying you owe this amount of money. And I'm like, dude, you understand it went to rent, right? Like here is the letter that the real estate is gonna send to you.
Yeah, I
like,
can see that, right?
Yeah, I was like, dude, like I'm fucked. I'm fucked. And then they're like, oh, well, you're gonna need to give us this amount of money, so we can pay back your players. And I'm like, I don't fucking have it. And they're like, well, we don't want to make it a big deal, but it'd be nice if you never came back to the LCS. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Because I feel like my eye scouting skills are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty good at like finding like good players and stuff. So I was kind of sad about that, but I understood where they were coming from because I was just like, I did fuck up. I didn't know what to do, and that's my fuck up. Like I fucked up because I completely was I put myself into a position that I was not ready for. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, well, that's it. That's the end of that, and Yo,
and real talk as well. Like I remember some pictures coming out at the time. I mean, those players fucked that house up, dude. Like, it had hardwood floors. There was like scuffs and fucking burns. There was like fucking trash all over the place. Like, I mean, the house needed some fucking repairs. And like those guys were only in it for like 5 months or something, right? Like, I mean,
3-4 months, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand. Like, I mean, look, as a guy that's like gone after unscrupulous managers, like, and people who abuse players and stuff, my entire career. You know, I'll be the first guy to fucking throw anyone under the bus. I don't give a fuck who you are or how well I know you. If you're doing that shit, I'm coming for you. But like real talk players have got to take a little bit of responsibility as well, because it could have been a hell of a lot worse. You know, there's damages to pay, right? Like, obviously the deposit ain't coming back.
And then on the top of that, my name's not even on the lease. Like, I shouldn't have paid for any of this. If I just gave the players the money, they would have had to pay for this anyway. So I just cut out the middleman. I just fucking did it myself. So if I actually just transacted the money to the players, and then the players paid back this anyways, we would have never had a problem. But because I didn't do that to the players, and I did it straight to the real estate agent, that's where Riot's problem came. Right. So I was just like, well, I'm screwed. The only fucked up thing I did throughout this whole thing was I took my cut. I took the same cut as everyone else. I didn't get 3 times more money. I didn't fucking do anything. Like, I took the same amount because I'm not going to lie to you. I thought, hey, man, like, if I don't do anything here, like, I'm not going to make any money. Like, what am I going to do? I made the fucking team. No one thought they were going to make it into the LCS. We fucking made it. Like, where am I gonna get my money from? You know what I'm saying? That's what my thought process was.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
But I never fucking took 3 times the amount of money. I don't know where he got that from. It makes no fucking sense. Like, I gave Riot what they needed. Like, they were like, yo, so what did the real estate agent say? I'm like, oh, here you go. This is what she said. And they were like, oh, well, you still fucked up. Okay, bye. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm done. That's it. That's the end of that. Like, I can't defend myself.
Yeah, well, what about, because there was some other money that came in, like when you guys were struggling because the sponsors didn't turn up. I know that there was some like public donations, right?
Yeah, we had a GoFundMe for like tables and chairs for our place. Like we it wasn't, because that was before Riot gave us the money, right? So right. The funniest thing is, since no one put up like the deposit, I straight up had to tell my brother to transfer me money. I was like, dude, just transfer me money. When Riot pays us, we'll pay you right back. That's all it is. So we got a little less for our first month because we paid my brother back for the deposit, and then we lost the deposit. So I'm just like, well, that's. I'm like, dude, my brother would have been pissed if we fucking did. Yeah. So a lot of fucked up things happened, but I don't think a lot of it was on me, like he said it was. Like, I just think he wanted extra money for some reason, and like it was him, Heartbeat, and Echo, I think, that were against me. Atomic, Claky D, and Nien were like, they were just like, no, like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He did it completely fair. So it was a 50-50, but obviously the person who voices it out more, obviously they're going to get more people on their side and shit, right? So obviously, like, Claky, Nien, and Atomic were just like, nah, we don't want any part of this. We're not going to, like, defend you, but we're not going to say anything about it. We're just going to keep quiet. So they just didn't want any more, like.
Well, what about, because I remember as well, didn't Marcus and DJ Wheat try and help you out at one point as well?
Yeah, he I think he got me in contact with Tobias, Toby, and instead of them sending the computers to us, because we didn't have computers either, so we needed a computer sponsor, which was I think they got us like Cyber Power, like, or iBuy Power, one of these like computers companies. They were like, all right, we'll give you 6 computers, and instead of sending it to us, they sent it to their office in Vegas. So I had to drive to Vegas and pick up these fucking computers. All right. So I went out there and I got these computers. I fucking drove out there. I got it from them. And then after that, it was like, they were like, oh, we'll make a deck for you, stuff like that. But then once we got relegated, it was just like, oh, it's over. Because, Wheat was like very, very helpful. And I was supposed to actually like give him like a cut. And this is where I fucked up, right? Because like once I had to pay off the real estate, I was just like, there's no more money, dog. Like, I can't help. I can't, like, and hold up my end of the bargain with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that much money for Wheat. It was like whatever. He definitely, I'm pretty sure he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, I just felt really bad because all this shit happened, and at the end of the day, I'm just like, dude, I can't help you. I can't, like, I'm fucked here, and then now all this fucking shit 2 months later, fucking Mega Zero is just coming at me with this shit. I'm just like, dude, like, everything just came crashing down at that moment. And at that point, I was just like, I actually went into this thinking I was going to make money, but I came out of it with zero money anyways. So it actually was not worth it. Like, it was a nice, 3 months in a beach house, and we were all hanging out and stuff like that. But then once it all ended, they fucking turned on me, and I was just like, well, that's that, dude. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
So here's a question for you. Like, while all this shit's fucking crashing down around you, and you admit that you're out of your depth, right? So why the fuck didn't you go and, like, grab somebody to help you out? You must have known, like, a manager or, like, you were in EG even. Like, couldn't you, like, you know what I mean? There must have been somebody you could have talked to. Right? Or not?
I was talking to a lot of people during this time. I was talking to fucking Jason Lake. I was like, dude, like, how should I make these contracts and stuff like that? I was trying to ask people, like, a lot of stuff to learn, but I never got to that point where I was like, oh, I'm a great team owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fucking horrible one. Like, it's just like, I don't know how to, like, talk to people for sponsors and stuff like that, and then, like, at this time, people weren't buying out teams and stuff like that. So I was just like, if I had just made it probably like another season or two, I would have been a millionaire. I would have been like, all right, I'm out. Just give me my fucking $1 million and I'm out. Like, I would have fucking sold it right away. Like, and even during this time, I could have completely replaced my whole team. Like, I could have replaced my whole team with Koreans because it was like Riot didn't care what you did, right? So I thought that was the play. I was like, I could just kick everyone out and just fucking add some Koreans to my team, and I'll be a top tier team, right? That was my easy way out, right? So, yeah. Like, mid-season, like 70% of the way through the season, right? I was just like, dude, like, our team isn't working out. We need to replace, Heartbeat, right? Because Heartbeat, like, I don't want to be that rough on him, but, like, he was a good guy, but, like, he would not take criticism, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to, like, be a thing, but he has a high ego, right? He had a high ego, so he wasn't taking any of that shit. And then this is where I kind of knew it could have, like, it should have went downhill. Like, we all had a team meeting while Heartbeat went home to visit family. And we were like, we need to get rid of Heartbeat, right? Heartbeat's the problem on our team. He doesn't listen. We try to make him listen throughout the season. He doesn't listen to us. He's always right. We're always wrong. When 5 people are against him, he's always the right one, right? So they're like, hey, Marn, since you're the team owner, you got to tell him. We're not going to tell him together, blah, 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 right? So when he gets back, we're going to go out to eat, and you tell him that we're gonna kick him off.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone leaves. He comes back, right? I take him outside, take out a cigarette. I'm like, yo, man, Heartbeat, we got to talk. I don't think you're good for the team. We're going to change you out. We're going to change it. He's like, what? What have I done wrong? And I'm like, we've told you everything you've done wrong, man. Like, you just don't listen to us. And he's just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, sorry, dude. It's just best for the team, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right. So he goes to the room. He goes to his computer. He just sits down. He just starts like watching shows, right? And I go to my room and I take a nap, right? And I wake up to Heartbeat crying in the living room. Everyone going, yo, it was Marn's fault. It was Marn's idea, blah blah blah. And I was like, and I'm in my room listening to this, and I'm just like, are you fucking serious right now, dude? So I go outside, and they're like, yeah, Marn, you know what? We're going to keep Heartbeat on the team. You shouldn't have told him that he was off the team, blah, blah. I'm like, it was Joel's idea in the first place for me to tell him that he's off the team. And then now that he starts crying, guys...
I have been fucked so many times like that by players. Like, because I used to be a manager too, right? Like, way back when. And I cannot tell you, when I used to manage Counter-Strike teams, you would be there. And you'd be like, hey, my door's always open. Like, you guys ever need to tell me anything? You just come to me. And players would come and go, yo, it's fucking David. He's fucking not good enough. He's not putting in the practice. He's like super negative. It's like making us all down. Like, we've already got a replacement lined up. Like, will you just tell him he's off the team? And I'll be like, okay, guys, are we sure this is all unanimous? Because I'll back you, right? If you 4 guys want this guy to go, I'll make him go. I'll do it. And then, like, you go in. When you sit David down, you say, "Yo, David, like, listen, it ain't nothing personal. It's like breaking up with a fucking, a chick. You're like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, listen, it's us. It's not you. Like, I'm sure there's plenty more fish in the sea. You're gonna be great. You're gonna be golden, but it's just not working. You frame it like whichever way possible, and then of course they get defensive and they go and talk to the players, and the players all go, shit, we don't even know, man. We don't even know. Like, we don't even know why. Like, and you're like, what? Whoa. I like David, you fucking pieces of shit. What the fuck? You make me do your dirty work? Yeah, I got done like 1,000,000 times like that, brother. Like,
then the whole time, fucking Heartbeat just like completely ignored me for the rest of the season, dude. Like, I'm just like, dude, it wasn't my fault. Like, what the? He never talked to me. Every time I asked him a question, it'd be like yes, no, and that's it. Like, I'm just like, well, that's the end of my relationship with him, dude.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit. But look, so I'll sort of get to the end of the whole, Marn situation, because there's still some stuff I want to talk about before we wrap up the show. But like, it was a very public sort of collapse. Like, I'd never seen anything like that in LCS. At that point, I'd never seen anything in League of Legends. I knew there were a lot of amateurish teams, but this was like just such a spectacular fucking dumpster fire, and nobody was keeping any secrets. It was like, yeah, this happened and this happened, and it was all just out there. And it was great as a journalist at the time. It was like, fuck yeah, I write about this shit all day, But it sort of, in a way, it did contribute positively to League of Legends development. They had to come up with some rules to make sure all the shit that went wrong with Team Marn couldn't happen again. So in a way, you did make a positive contribution to, LCS present and future.
Yeah, but not for me.
Well, no.
I'm already gone. Like, it can't happen again.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you said that. So to be clear, Riot sort of said that after that, you couldn't own a team again, or you wouldn't be welcome back in the league.
So basically, they said they didn't want to make it public. They were just like, it's not. They said something about it's not like 100% completely your fault, but it is your fault kind of thing. Like, but let's just like sweep it under the rug and just like end it, whatever. And I'm just like, all right. But they did say LCS, so I was like, you know what? It's time to go to Vietnam and make a team. Because that's not part of the LCS, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So just as a final point as well, though, I mean, look, you definitely made some mistakes and you definitely fucked up. I'm not going to pretend that you did.
I know that.
Yeah. And I know you don't need me to tell you that, right? But like, I got to say, some of the shit, like, for me, and I've been in this situation again in the past, when you have like contractual obligations and players don't want to meet them, like the thing with the guides blows my mind. Like the idea that, people were going to pay you, all this money for the players just to sit down and write a guide, one a week, two a month, whatever it was. One a month,
man.
Yeah, right. Like why is like I'd be furious with those guys. That would be like the fucking Riot Act would get read right there. Like I remember I had a company one time called Ceratech. They used to make those Z boards, the World of Warcraft themed keys. Yeah, right. And they gave us like £10,000 to go to an event where if we won it, we lost the team. Right. That's how good a sponsor they were. Right. It was for the CGS. And they gave me £10,000. And all they said was record vlogs and write a blog. That's it. Just make it look like you're having a good time. And I was like, can do, Mr. Sponsor, sir. And then I went away. And I tried to get the players to do that shit. I had to write the fucking blogs pretending I was the players. So I was like, there was a guy in it called Benno. I used to have to fucking be like, how dumb is Ben? So I can like dial my writing down so it sounds like him, How many spelling mistakes would Ben make? Like, this is like the shit I had to do. And I was like, you do understand if you don't do this, we've got no fucking money. This apartment we're in goes away. The contest you're in, no money. You know, like they were like, yeah, but come on, Rich, you've got this covered. I'd be like, fuck you now. They'd be like, you're not doing anything. We've got to play. Oh man, it's some stressful ass shit when you can't bring players in line to do the stuff that you got to get them to do. You know?
Yeah, it's rough, man.
But like, do you still talk to any of the guys from back then?
I talk to the other team's players like Dyrus and stuff. I don't talk to my players because, Clanky D, he works for Riot now and he does all the broadcasting stuff.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
I'm happy for him for all that, but all the other players, we don't talk anymore. Especially Mega Zero, we definitely, we definitely don't talk anymore.
So it was that bad, right? Bridges officially burned.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Like, if anything, he could have told me himself, like, hey, man, I think you owe me money. First, before he just made a fucking public-ass post like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so you didn't know this was coming?
No, dude, I told you. I was back in a fighting game tournament when my phone blew up. I did not have any, like, hey, man, you owe us money. Like, none of that. Like, none of that came to me. So I'm just like, well, that's it.
So, I mean, look, it's been a long time since then. You're 30 years old right now. Congratulations on hitting 30. Trust me, brother, you've got 2 more years. two more years where you're actually a fully working, functioning human being. And then after that, it's dog shit, right? I'm not kidding. But, like, would you ever want to be a team owner, a team manager again? Would you ever want to build a brand, bring Team Marn back, move into some other esports titles now that you're a little bit older, a little bit wiser, learned a few lessons along the way?
No, I'd rather be under a team. Like, I don't think being a team owner is my type of style. Like, there's too much being social involved, and that's just not me, dude.
All right, well, that's all well and good. You talked about being on a team. Obviously, you're with Rise right now, right?
Yeah.
So how's that all working out for you? Because it's like you say, you spend a little bit of time in the wilderness, doing your own thing, being your own man. Now you're back, sort of, with a sponsor, going to events, shit. Like I finally got to meet you in person at E-League. So, how's it all going?
I mean, after LCS, right? I left. I just straight said, look, I have no money. I'm going to go to Vietnam, right? My mom was like, yo, you need to come to Vietnam. I've never been there before. I was like, all right, I'm coming to Vietnam. I go there. I'm just like, I love this place, right? And I opened up an internet cafe. It's fucking going fantastic. And then Capcom hits me up and they're like, hey, we want you on E-League, right? After I was streaming for a bit and I got like funds to go to tournaments back in like 2016. And I was doing very well for some reason because I was just playing just to play and have fun. So it was like really well. It was good. And Capcom was like, hey, we want you on E-League, blah, blah, blah. And then Rise was like, hey, we want you on the team. And then I sold my internet cafe and moved back to America because I feel like the financial stress on Rise was, flying back and forth from Vietnam to America was very, very, very expensive. So I went back to America, and now I live with Justin, Flash, and I don't know. It's been good. Like, it's. Yeah. I mean, other than EG, I haven't had a team really, and Rise takes care of me like really well, and I've never really had that much fun. Like, I never got to like be like, yo, my boss Reem. He's like, yo, let's come play some Diablo or like let's play some Monster Hunter, like we just like play other games other than fighting games and like we have fun and mumble and stuff. So it's actually very non-stressful being on this team. I love this team a lot. They pay on time. They're never wrong. They're always like, hey man, you need anything? You need this? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I need $30 for the gym. I'm going to start the gym. They're like, yo, I got you. Blah, blah, blah. He's so helpful that like I like the situation I'm in right now.
Well, what about competing? I mean, like, how are you feeling, in that? Because it's like, there is this, younger generation coming through in the FGC. They're all looking pretty tight, pretty polished. I've seen a few of the older guys, they admit that because of the way life is, especially Alex Valle, you talk to him about it. He's like, listen, I got my own business. I got my own things going on. Like, I can't dedicate the time that I need to even hang with these young guys anymore. So I'll come out and I'll play for fun. But honestly, like, I'm not really a competitor anymore. Like, I'm moving on to the next phase in my life. Now, I know Alex Valle is a lot older than you. But, I think once you start putting a 3 at the start of your age or beyond, you probably do need to start thinking about how much longer can I keep being the guy that bashes the buttons. So how are you feeling right now?
I mean, last year I did not do well at all. Not even in the E-League. I left kind of E-League kind of early. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you did, brother. Straight out of fucking Vietnam as well. I noticed. I was like, yo, let's go out and get fucking lit, and you were like, nah, see you, dog. Fuck this. All right.
I don't really like. I try to compete, but like it's not like I'm not like the best, or I can't try to be the best anymore. I feel like I'm really too old for that. So I go out and I'm like, hey, Rise, you should pick up this guy. You should pick up Mena. Like it's just I feel like he'll do good, and then he wins Capcom Pro Tour. And usually I do more shows and I do good at tournaments like E-League. I did ESL Brawlers. Yeah. I just filmed like a month of a show of this show in Malaysia that's coming out next month, and I'm mostly more of like an image and a personality more than a winner.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of like that's kind of worth something. You know what I'm saying? It's not like worthless. Just because I don't win, I feel like I can still do a lot in the community rather than just win. I can show my personality.
But I mean, like you still want to go to events. You still want to be on the stage. Like none of that's getting kind of boring for you yet.
It's never boring, dude. Like I'm not like really a gamer, right? Like I play games just to beat people who think they're good. That's like gatekeeper. I don't really I can beat anyone, but I can also lose to anyone. It's kind of hilarious in a way. Like I don't play like random games on the side for fun. Like, Rise told me to play Monster Hunter. I played it for like 30 minutes. And I was like, I can't do this because I just want to be competitive, right? I just want to fuck other people up. Like, I don't care if I'm like 40 or 50. I'm gonna still try. It's just like I just don't think people are as good as they say they are, and they could definitely. I just beat Daigo like 3 months ago, and he thought he was good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Well, what about jumping into some like the other like fighting games that are coming out right now? Like you've been a guy like a lot of FGC OGs. You've kind of moved around. You've played various titles, competed at various titles. Is there anything that right now that could be like a lateral shift for you, like a new game that's coming out? Something where you think you can take your experience and maybe go blow that game up? Because obviously we all know the big ones. We got Tekken coming at E-League soon, and obviously you've done a lot of great work in all the Street Fighter iterations, Marvel vs. Capcom, all of that stuff. But what about some of the other fighting game titles out there? You ever think like, fuck it, I'm just going to go play that game over there and see what happens?
I mean, I'm playing Dragon Ball FighterZ right now.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a good game, but I don't think it'll be better than Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
I play it just to just to beat other people. But I think Street Fighter 5 is like the main game that people should be focusing on right now. Until Dragon Ball goes, hey, there's gonna be a pro tour, a circuit, I don't think it can grow higher than it's already at.
Well, I mean, Dragon Ball FighterZ got fucking added to Evo. I mean, right? They announced that this month. So you could be another Evo champ, right? If you get your shit together.
Too old, man. Too old, dude. Like my stamina, like at the end of so tournaments now, they don't just go Saturday and Sunday anymore. They start on Fridays. And by Saturday morning, I'm like, man, fuck me. I just want to go home and sleep in my bed. It's just I'm not there anymore. It's just a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not good anymore, dude.
Yeah. Well, it fucking matter. It happens to everybody. wine turns to fucking vinegar. That's how it goes, you know? Like, fuck, we're all dealing with that shit. Look, just before I let you go, though, I want to spend like 10 minutes or so just talking about something that's close to my heart because, you know, I came into the FGC, you know, I've said it before. People probably don't know, like, what really hooked me into esports or what sort of became esports. Because, like, way back in, like, 99, I was hearing about esports, right? Competitive gaming, cyber athletes, like, whatever fucked up bullshit term they were using back then. And I was too busy doing, like, jock things, you know? I was, like, boxing. I was, like, playing rugby. That was what I was about. I was like, fuck those nerds, you know. I ain't never gonna play no video games, but I did, you know. Like after I'd come back from the gym, I'd play like fucking Tekken, you know, Street Fighter or whatever with my boys. You know, when GTA 3 came out on the PS2, that was the shit. We were all used to fucking get stoned and play that all day, trying to do all the stunt jumps. And then I heard there was a Tekken competition. And it was in South Wales and stuff. And, you know, I was like in a barn. And I drove down and I got to see what was like Grassroots FGC fighting. And ever since then, it was like I was hooked. I was hooked with everything esports. By 2004, 2005, I was writing about Counter-Strike. And I just never looked back ever since. It was the FGC that hooked me into it. But when I came in to the FGC and was doing stuff in E-League, like, shit just got fucking weird immediately. Like, there was people, like, saying I shouldn't be allowed to be involved. There was, like, people from big companies, like, saying, you know, fuck E-League, fuck esports, fuck all this razzle-dazzle. You know, and I was like one of the guys who was like, no, we got to get into the FGC. Like, I was super pumped for it. I thought the FGC would be pumped for it, too. But there was people in there, and it was just, like, weird and fucking political. And then everything I did, it seemed to upset somebody. Like, I said something, some people would be like, yeah, dog, that's raw. And then, like, another guy would be like, that's completely unacceptable for the FGC. You know, me and Ultra David talked a lot about it. Like, he was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't shout out this person or this person. I'm like, why not? They're fucking, it's all right. I name dropped Kappa, r/Kappa on fucking, you know, the TV broadcast. Everyone lost their goddamn minds about that. Apparently, I'm not supposed to acknowledge they exist. I don't know why. Seems like once you get through all the fucking anime porn, it seems like a pretty good subreddit, right?
For a place that calls me like irrelevant, they have me on there like once a week, like a post about me once a week, and I'm just like, you know what, whatever, man. Like, I don't go there. People are like, hey, did you see this thread about you? And I'm just like, what? Oh my god, damn it, not again, dude.
But it just seems like such a very political, like, it's more esports is full of bullshit and full of politics. We talked about that, but the FGC seems to have more fucking politics and like minefields than almost any scene I've ever worked in. I got fucking journalists telling me I shouldn't be involved, nicknaming me Donkey Boy, talking about me in code like I'm fucking Voldemort. Like, what did I do? I just came in and wanted to do a fucking job, right? So, I mean, is this how it is? Is this how it's always been? Or is this like growing pains because we're becoming more esports, more polished?
I mean, that's why you always hear the word Illuminati in the FGC, right?
Yeah.
It's always like, you know, like, oh shit, like Capcom controls everyone behind the scenes and shit like that. But like, I don't know. I've never heard of all this stuff before. I'm just like a bystander, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I read and stuff, I just don't like Kotaku. I just don't like Kotaku at all. All their fucking articles about everything is just trash. It's just like they see like one controversy, they're like, oh, time to put it up here. But anything that like positive happens, they're just like, it's all right. You know, it's just like a lot of people, maybe they're just scared. A lot of times, like when people actually make articles, it's about the negativity, not the positive stuff. So, I mean, that's all I see, like just the negative shit. And I don't think it's that political.
But it's tough then, right? Because like, yeah, you do see a lot of the negative shit, but like sometimes, like I don't know what the right answer to this is, because I see like, you know, I like the pop-ups. I like people getting in people's face. I like drama. I like hype. I like WWE theatrics. I like people being fucking raw. And like sometimes it isn't fun and games, you know, like we saw with the K-Brad Wolfcrone thing. Sometimes two dudes can just genuinely dislike each other, like 100% actually fucking dislike each other. But then like you try and, you know, point to that and go, that is FGC. And then you got these motherfuckers saying, "Oh no, that's terrible. You only focus on the negative." To me, that feels like authentic grassroots. That's what I saw back in 2001 or whatever the fuck. And that's what I want to preserve. But people seem to not like it. It's like a very divided community right now.
Because it's like half wants it to be esports and half wants it to go back into the dark era, right? Where like fucking there was no money to be made. It was just playing the game, right? Obviously, a lot of people want to make a living out of it and shit. So obviously, the negative stuff that they think is negative, they're just like, nah, fuck that. We don't want to see that shit. And it's just like, I like it. Like, I don't hold myself back. I just say fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you hate me, you hate me. You probably already hate me, so it's like pointless for me to like hold back, right? Like, and the people who like, me just being real, it's just like that's what I want to be. Like, I don't want to be fake just because, oh shit, it's esports, but then I don't care. Like, I don't really care if in the end it's like esports or the dark era. Like, I can do my own thing and still be, people just care about shit too much, man. People just don't want to just relax. It's just like there's so much shit going down nowadays, dude. Like, social media should never have happened. Like,
it's a mistake.
Yeah, all this shit, dude. Just people feel so entitled now. It's actually fucking crazy how much they fucking. It's just like, oh shit, you said something bad. Fuck you, man. Go die. I'm just like, damn, dude. I don't know. Other than like people fucking making up the word shill and just calling people shills, like that's been happening for the past year. That's fucking annoying as shit. Like, I wish Capcom just fucking sent me checks all day for, like, like it's just
you can't say anything positive about the fucking developers. Like, I went through this shit recently with like, I'm saying it's okay for ESL to sell broadcasting rights to Facebook because y'all motherfuckers don't pay for nothing. Like, and that makes me a shill, apparently. I didn't get no check. I'm just talking about economic realities. I see it posted all the time now, like, oh, Richard Lewis used to be anti-Old Boys Club. Now he's in the Old Boys Club. Where's my brandy and cigar, motherfucker? I'd love to be in an Old Boys Club right now because I am an old boy. I want my fucking money. I want my fucking paycheck. I want my brandy and cigars. I've spent 15 fucking years being poor, trying to keep it real and tell it like it is. And this is how it is. You all want content for free all of the fucking time. Well, someone's got to pay for that. This time it's Facebook. People didn't want that fucking medicine, and there was no spoonful of sugar to help it go down. So, yeah, I've been called a shill too, dude. It seems so stupid that you can't see anything positive about the developers or, like, you considered, a bad guy, right?
Yeah, they're just trying to make money to what their business is made to do, dog. Like, it's just like, fuck. Dude, whatever they do is just like, okay, like, I understand what they're trying to do, but, like, why is so many people just like, oh, fuck this shit, like, fuck Capcom, oh yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ is the next shit, fuck Capcom shills, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, like, can we just all play the games we like to play? Like, can we just all like be positive and just like, I don't have to go, like, I play League sometimes and I have fun playing League, but I don't go, yo, fuck Dota, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. It's just like, I play the game I like to play, and people just like, nah, like, it is. I feel like it's mostly the people who don't even really play the game. Like, they just watch the game.
Yeah, dude. Like, you're fucking so on point about that. Like, the people all in my fucking mentions, it's like, they play it like casual at best, It's all fucking like anime avatars and furries and shit all coming after me. And I'm like, I'm glad you found a place in esports where you feel welcome. But, like, what, can't you see how fucked up it is for you to drive other people out and say, it's got to be this way, it's got to be the way I want it, Like, because what if people said that about you? What if people said, yo, like, we don't want any weebs all up in this?
And all they're going to say is, oh, well, I'm not even part of anything, so it doesn't really matter what they say to me. This is like, it's so stupid that they can say stuff and they think it matters, but when you say stuff back at them, they're just like, nah, it's all right, dude.
Look, because we're coming to the end, man. Like, shit, we could have gone another fucking 2 hours. But, like, but listen, right? So, what do you think is the, like, biggest change that you could make to the whole FGC? You're Emperor fucking Marn. You've got godlike powers. You can do whatever the fuck you want to kind of just make it, like, a better place. Because I definitely think you can keep the FGC raw, keep the pop-offs, keep the fucking drama, keep the fucking earthiness of what makes the FGC great, and have the esports money and the esports platform. I think you can do both, but I don't think a lot of people think you can. So what would you do? What's the one change you would make to make the FGC, have this wonderful, bright future that it should have?
Get rid of all the negative Nancys, dude.
Like, who are they?
Just all of them, dude. I would fucking destroy our Kappa. That's my first fucking line of action.
Like, they like me over there, man. I gotta.
Do they? Because they're not about to like you for having me on the show, dude. Dude. They flip flop so much, dude. Like 1 week they're fucking like they're like, yo, Justin, you fucking fat fuck, go die and shit. The next week they're like, oh shit, Justin's so fucking cool, dude. Like they don't have a fucking set mind frame, dude. They're a fucking hive mind, dude.
Well, yeah. Hey, look, as long as I'm on the good side of that, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, you're right. I've said that.
Are you serious? The first time they were like, "Yo, why is fucking Richard Lewis on E-League? He don't fucking play fighting games and shit." Are you serious?
Yeah, and then I rocked the fucking show, and then it was all good, right?
No. Like, all you did was say R Kappa on the show, and they're like, "Oh shit, what a god! Welcome to the community, bro."
Why do you think stand-up comedians always open the set with, "Yo, it's great to be in fucking Cleveland. I love it here," right? No one wants to be in fucking Cleveland. What are you talking about? Motherfuckers trying to get out of Cleveland their whole life, like obviously. So that's why you do it, man. It makes people, they warm to you. They're fucking, you ingratiate yourself to them, But on a serious note, I mean, like, obviously, sure, okay, I'll let you destroy our Kappa on the side, but like, would you change anything about tournament structure, like who the power players are, like? Evo or, anything like that? Is there anything you think you could do to shift the landscape to make the FGC a better place? Like, should the developers have, like, more influence, less influence?
I mean, obviously, the developer... I don't know. I just feel like nowadays, like, developers need to put, like, more... I'm not trying to be a douche, but, put more money into, like, their games, like, to support it, like, would help a lot. Because, like, say that, like, Capcom just announced Pro Tour is like $600,000 or whatever. Mm-hmm. DBZ just had like, they're just like, oh shit, we have over 2 million sales in like the first 2 weeks or whatever. Like whatever, right? Like, but like, what's my incentive to like really play DBZ like at an esports event if there's like no money involved? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no end goal. I'm just playing just to be the champion of that week. Maybe the next week, whatever. Like, it's just like I don't have the drive to like practice Dragon Ball as much as like Street Fighter, like, but because I came from like a poor place, right? Like winning tournaments, winning like $80, $90. I'm like, dude, why didn't we have all this money back in the day? I'd be caking it right now. Yo,
it's the same for any of the older guys, right?
Yeah, well, fuck, I'm all jealous of shit. That's why, like, most of the time I'm just thinking about the money more than anything, because I'm just like, dude, they have it so good right now.
Yo, there's like, people getting laid because they're good at video games right now. You definitely didn't have that shit when I was growing up. It didn't mean a fucking thing. Like, there's fucking, these people are fucking rock stars now. Like,
no comment. No, that was you. I was in the LCS, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? Yeah, well,
just kidding. That was I swear to God, people are gonna blow that shit up later. Dude.
Nah, you all good. But like I say, man, motherfuckers in esports are rock stars now, and it's like, like fuck, dude. Like I just wish, like, just give me 5 years. Just give me another 5 years of this shit. Like, just rewind time so I'm 5 years younger.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, I'm ready to go.
That's all I fucking need, man.
Yeah.
But now that we're older, it's just like, fuck. Well, it's a tough life out here, dude, for the older people. But the young people, dude, Punk, Mena, dude, they're all young and they're all making bank. Fuck.
Yeah, man. My claim of fame is, I showed Punk how to open a bottle of champagne.
Pretty sure you got by now.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I'm hoping, I'm just hoping like one day he's gonna be telling his grandkids, you know. And yeah, there was this like fat, crusty old white dude who came into the FGC and he showed me how to do this, and he's straight popping corks with all the money that he won, you know. So, but anyway, look, man, we got to wrap up. So, just some final thoughts. Like, what are you gonna be doing? What's next on the horizon for Marn? Where can people follow you? You know.
Dude, I'm not gonna be. I mean, the Capcom Pro Tour is happening like next month, so I'm gonna be practicing a lot to start going to these tournaments. If Rise decides to send me, they could be like, "Yo, Mark, you're not gonna win anything. Why don't you just stay home?" I don't know what their plan is, but it's just there's gonna be a lot of me at tournaments. I like going to tournaments because I just see a lot of people and they're just like, "Hey, Mark, can I take a picture?" Blah, blah, blah. And it's not that bad anymore. I used to hate it a lot, but nowadays, since I suck and I don't have to focus on the tournaments that much, I'm just like, "Hey, let's take this picture together. You know what? Let's just go out to eat together, guy. I don't know, let's just have some fun. I don't need people to follow me, but obviously, Marn or Z on Twitter.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't know, man.
You need to make yourself some content, dude. It's gonna be a rough year.
It's gonna be a rough year, dude.
Fuck that noise, man.
I think it's traveling every 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks a month, dude. Every month.
Talk to my boys, Tasty Steven Sajam, man. Get on a fucking podcast or something with those guys.
What? They don't want me there, dude. I'm telling you, dude.
Nah, fuck that. They'll fucking. They appreciate a big personality. That's why we get along so well. So, you need to talk to them. They're doing some killer shit right now. But anyway, look, man, I'm super happy we finally got to get you on the show and talk about some stuff, talk about the FGC and League of Legends and all that other good stuff. I hope you're around for another fucking, however many years it's been, like another fucking 20, 30 years doing this shit. Like staying in, and I hope 2018 isn't a rough year because it shouldn't be, brother. So look after yourself. And to everybody that was watching, that is the fucking great Marn of Team Marn Phan. He's made his mistakes. He's been attached to his controversies, but he's always interesting. I hope you enjoyed hearing from him. So thanks a lot for tuning into this episode of the Richard Lewis Show. We'll be back at the same time, same place. So make sure you tune in. Until then, take care.